Bored? I hear myself say. Well, then I've got work for you to do. No thanks, they say, sighing deeply and slouching off in the direction of their boring bedrooms, where various electronic devices, art supplies, books, and neglected toys await. It's somewhat difficult to imagine that there's nothing for my girls to do. Before we started research for this book, I got easily annoyed with my daughter's boredom. I'm not your clown, I might say. Figure something out. I'm still not their clown, but my perspective on adolescent world weariness has changed with my growing understanding of the teenage brain. On one level, simply remembering my own adolescence helps me enter into my daughter's world, but it's more than commiseration that's changed me. Jerusha and I have discovered some important facts about the under-construction teenage brain that helps us, and we hope can help you figure out what's behind the "I'm bored" complaints.
Bio 101. Study after study confirms that adolescents respond to pleasure and reward, indeed even the anticipation of gratification, with greater sensitivity than either adults or children. Neuroscientists attribute this to significant developmental changes occurring during adolescence in the brain's reward system. Throughout this book, when we refer to the reward system, we mean the collection of brain structures involved in the experience and mediation of pleasure. When activated, these areas of the brain reinforce certain behaviors and deter us from others. For your son or daughter, everything from eating sweets to listening to ear-piercingly loud music to giving and receiving physical affection or playing video games can stimulate the brain's reward circuits, which includes the dopamine-rich neurons of the ventral tegmental area, the nucleus accumbens, and part of the prefrontal cortex. In order to better understand our teens, let's look briefly at each component of the reward system. We previously discussed the importance of the prefrontal cortex, so you may recall its role in judgment, planning, forethought, and executive functioning. Remember, this portion of the brain is under construction for the entirety of adolescence. Also undergoing specialized and substantial alteration during adolescence are the nucleus accumbens, NAC, and the ventral tegmental area, VTA. Each brain hemisphere has its own NAC, a small but mighty brain structure that plays an important role in the cognitive processing of pleasure, motivation, reinforcement learning, and the encoding of new motor programs. The NAC does this primarily by releasing dopamine, a neurotransmitter closely associated with pleasure. The NAC's dopaminergic input originates mainly in the VTA, an area of the brain that also processes emotion and sends information to the prefrontal cortex for evaluation. Think of it this way. The brain keeps score with dopamine. When something good happens, or a teen expects something good to happen, dopamine is released along the VTA-NAC pathway and is ultimately encoded by the prefrontal cortex. I gotta do that again. This loop created by rewarding stimuli, ice cream or hugging or defeating the next video game level, neurochemical response, dopamine release, and cognitive processing happens